You're listening to episode 8 of the Inspired Entrepreneur's Guide podcast. Hi everyone, I'm your host, Darlene. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Inspired Entrepreneur's Guide, the podcast that encourages you to stop dreaming and start doing. This week, I have a fun show for you. And before I get into the show, I wanted to remind you that you can find the podcast on iTunes and Stitcher and subscribe so that you can get your episodes downloaded automatically and never miss a single one. If you do happen to listen to the podcast via iTunes or Stitcher, please go ahead and go over there, find the podcast, and leave a review. It would be awesome and very helpful to me and this show. So now, let's dive into this week's topic. So this week, this episode is pretty interesting and kind of has a personal effect. Had a personal effect on me. And I have to say, I've been doing podcast interviews since 2008. I've produced well over 100 episodes. And I gotta say, almost every single one, I'm just going to say every single one of the interviews I've done has left some kind of impression on me, whether it was a takeaway to use in my business or just something super inspiring or a piece of knowledge that I had not known before. This particular episode left an impression on me. It's with someone named Mary Cascio, and she's a super sweet lady. She is an Usborne independent consultant, and Usborne is a publisher of children's books, fiction, nonfiction, and activity books. And the books are just super cute and super awesome. So when I invited Mary onto my podcast, I didn't know too much about the business side of being a consultant. I was just a fan of the books, and I knew of Mary from going to a few of her parties. And so after this conversation, you'll hear us speak. Mary shares a little bit about why she started her Usborne consultant business, how it's helped her as a stay-at-home mom grow a business and include her sons and her children in that business, and so much more. So we will get into that. But even more than that, it inspired me. I had been kind of thinking about the idea of becoming a consultant, and I wasn't really truly on board yet. After my conversation with Mary, it really started to take root. And then later in the summer, after this podcast interview had occurred, I signed up. So like Mary, I am now an Usborne independent consultant as well. So I have her encouragement and her inspiration to thank for that. So Mary, thank you. So I'm done babbling. Let's get on with the interview because it was super fun and I want you to take a listen. So here's my interview with Mary Cascio of maryhadalittlebook.com, who is an Usborne independent consultant. Today I am speaking with Mary Cascio, an Usborne consultant, and Mary is going to talk to me a little bit about her business and why she started it and a few other things. So Mary, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm excited too. Funny thing is, for this podcast, you're the first person on the West Coast that I'm speaking to. Most of the people have been on the East Coast or in the Midwest, so that's kind of fun for me.
Oh, good. That is fun.
As I usually do with my podcast is I spend a little time researching who I'm going to talk to and try to get questions developed for that particular person. And I found out that you launched something called Chem Free Kids in 2014, which made me super excited, made me feel really good about inviting you because I knew, I felt good anyway, but I knew that you were someone that had an entrepreneurial spirit, and that just really, really excited me. So let's talk about that. You are now a consultant for Usborne Books. Why did you become a Usborne Book consultant? Why, and how did you learn about it?
Well, honestly, I haven't worked in 2 years because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 boys. One just turned 4, and the other one's almost 2. And I have been entrepreneurial. It's been really important for me to try to find something to bring in an income from home, which is why I launched the Chem Free Kids. It's just something I'm passionate about. And then with Usborne, it just really fell into my lap at the right time. I was invited to a Facebook party, and I had no idea about Usborne Books until February. And I wish I would have learned about it sooner because my oldest is really into letters and phonics, and I did the whole preschool prep series with him, and we started doing the Hooked on Phonics. And so if I knew about these books sooner, I definitely would have been a customer. I was just invited to a Facebook party, and honestly, I fell in love with the books right away. I wasn't initially planning on being a consultant, but I originally joined just for the discount on the books, and because I was super excited about it. And then the business part of it just kind of took a life of its own, and so I've been running with it. So it really, like I said, it came at the right time for me, and it's a really good fit because it includes my boys. I've been building a really amazing library for them at home, and it's fun to read to them, and it fits a lot more than what I was doing before. So I'm really excited. It just really came at the right time.
Right. Well, it's really important to be excited about something like that you're involved in. I can tell you're excited, and I've been to 1 or 2 of your Facebook parties, and you're just so enthusiastic about it, and that's so important.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to touch on relating to being a consultant and selling products for companies. So there's others out there. I'm not really going to name names. People, if they could think about it, they'll think of products that they've purchased through parties or whatnot. And it's a good business model for people at home that are stay at home and want to supplement their income and want to make money, but they don't really think about it as running a business until they start.
Exactly.
So how did you prepare to do the marketing, managing, and growing your Usborne business?
I myself, I have done some other direct sales companies, so I had some experience in that. And with Usborne, it was different because I went in just wanting to be a customer and getting the discount, and then I just started setting up parties. And one of my really good friends, Tanya, she did a Facebook party, and her party was so successful that it just really launched my business. Her party, I ended up getting 6 more hostesses that wanted to host and get free books for their kids. And so it really just took a life of its own, and I just continued to do some parties. And that's when I was like, wow, this thing is really happening. And so my business took off, and I just kept booking parties, and of course I just kept getting more and more excited about it. And so now I still do it part-time, but I'm taking it a little bit more seriously, and I'm about to hit a team leader status by the end of June, and so it's just been really exciting and a lot different than what I've done before.
That's amazing. Team leader, congratulations. I'll kind of hang on to that because I don't want to jinx you, but congratulations for almost getting there. How about I'll say that?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I just from speaking with you and being in the party, I know you also said when you signed up for the educator package. How has that helped your business? So maybe kind of say what that is for people that are like, what the heck does that mean? So what is it, and how has that helped?
There's different ways you can run your Usborne Books business. You can promote it through Facebook parties, online parties, home parties. You can also, if you have the educator package, I think it's only $30 to get the information to start so that you can talk to schools, because that's a whole different model than doing the home parties. And so it just takes on a little bit more responsibility. But we have the option to work with schools and libraries. We can do fundraisers, and we can also help out in our local community, which is awesome. We can help kids in need and get them free books for their facilities and stuff like that. But with the educator package, I joined kind of towards the end of the school year, so I haven't really connected with a whole lot of schools yet, but I did connect with a preschool, and I did a fundraiser for them last month. No, I think it was 2 months ago. We did a book drive and a fundraiser. So it's just a fun way, and I plan to, after summer, I'm going to connect with a bunch of local schools in my community and set up book drives. Scholastic is really popular for the schools in the United States, and so it is a little bit of a challenge, I've heard, to get your foot in the door with schools. I'm going to start talking to people, and I do know a few teachers and stuff, and so it's just a matter of getting in front of them and showing them the books and showing them how high quality they are and all that. And so I plan to do that this after summer, but it's just another option for growing your business and promoting literacy in your community.
Right. That's awesome. I'm so excited to hear that, and I'm excited for you. I mean, I initially thought about doing it, but the time is just a factor, and I have too many other things on my plate right now. But it's definitely something that's brewing in the background, like, maybe someday.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, that Scholastic being in the schools can maybe be an obstacle because that's what everybody knows. So
exactly.
I want to actually switch to obstacles. What has been one of your biggest obstacles to date, and how did you overcome it?
I haven't really hit too many obstacles yet. I started my business at the end of February, and it really kind of started taking off in March. I would say so far, probably June has been the slowest month for me as far as booking parties, and I think it's just the time of year. Kids are getting out of school. People are planning for vacations for the summer, and people aren't thinking about hosting book parties. And so my activity this month hasn't been as high as my other months. And to hit team leader, I have to have a certain amount of sales by the end of the month, which I'm on point to doing, but it's been a little bit more of a struggle than my other months. So I think it's just knowing that no matter what kind of business you have, just having the mindset that there are going to be ups and downs and slow times, and just to stick with it and keep doing your thing. And sometimes you can't control what's going on outside of your business, but to just stay positive and keep doing and reaching your goals and stuff. And that's been my biggest obstacle so far. Is just June's been a slow month for me, but I've only been in for 3 months, so I'm sure I'll hit some more obstacles.
Well, so. I think that's great. So you kind of ended it on a high note, but I'm going to end it on an even higher note, that question. What's been the best thing about starting the business?
The best thing by far is just, I don't know, I think there's a lot of best things, but I'm excited about the library that I'm starting for my kids at home, and just seeing them excited about the books and getting them excited about reading. They're still pretty young, but that's really important to me because I know it's important for growth. My husband and I are real big about trying to keep our kids off the TV and the video games and stuff like that. So it's a good thing to have the library in our home. And then also it's a business that I can incorporate my kids with. And I don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it. Being a stay-at-home mom is challenging because you're just trying to do everything, and running a business on the side is hard when you have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old running around in the background. So this it's just been a really good fit, and it's made it less challenging than some of the other things I've tried to bring an income from home. So that, and I've met some pretty great people, and seeing some of my friends, help them get some free books for their kids, and seeing them be excited about it and their kids, that just is really rewarding to me and exciting. So, and I feel like I'm doing something good. I'm promoting literacy. I don't know. It's just a good feeling.
Well, let's continue on with that, because you mentioned you're growing a library for your children, and it's so funny. I'm sitting in what will be the baby's room when baby is here, and I'm looking and I see all the little Usborne balloon logos on my books, and it's so awesome. So let's talk about books. What Usborne book, and I know you probably have many, so I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to just choose one. Which book has made the biggest impression on you, and why?
There's one book that's really special to me, and it's one of the things that really captured my attention when I first learned about Usborne and I went to my first party. It's called The What If Monster. And it's a book that helps children overcome fears. I just think it's a really great book. It's super cute. And in today's world that it's really challenging for some kids, especially when they start to get to school and there's bullying and stuff and you want to fit in. So the What If Monster is basically there's this kid named Jonathan James and he has this friend, the What If Monster, and Jonathan is afraid of everything. He's like, well, what if they don't pick me for the team? What if they don't like me? Those kinds of things. And the What If Monster says, well, what if they do? And so it's just a good way to get kids to overcome fears, and it comes with a little what if monster stuffed animal. For little kids, they can have that little comfort, and they can also tell their fears to the monster, and it could help so many kids in so many different areas. Kids that are high risk or struggling, even kids that have parents that are away in the military. This book has been really great for, like, I have a nephew that's, like, has all these kinds of fears, and he was the first one I thought of when I saw that book. And so I just think that book is amazing. I don't know, it just really touched a spot in my heart that I was like, oh, that's so cute. And I think that book's pretty special.
Well, I think we're kindred spirits because two things that are really kind of funny, coincidental. I have the book. It is one of my favorites because I read through the books every now and again to see what I have for baby.
Yeah.
And it is one I like. What's even funnier is a podcast interview I did a couple weeks ago with an adult. They weren't a child. I happened to relate. We were talking about fear, and I guess that book just stayed with me so much. I even related the story of the What If Monster book to that person relating to fears in business. So I just think that's pretty darn cool that that's the book you happen to pick this time.
That's such a coincidence, and that's great. That's great that you can relate it to so many different things. I mean, it's geared towards children, but I mean, if you think about the ideas behind it, it could relate to anybody.
Absolutely. I love that. That's just so awesome. I didn't get the stuffed animal though, so now I'm really disappointed.
Yeah. I have two stuffed animals. So, yeah, it's a really cute book.
Well, I wanted to wrap this up with one final question relating to the work you do and your book sale. What's one piece of advice that you can provide to someone thinking about becoming either an Usborne seller or someone selling some other product from their home, like as supplemental income? So basically,
definitely make sure it's something that you're passionate about and that you're excited about, because that definitely helps. And then is it something that seems it's achievable that you can do, especially if you're a stay-at-home parent, if it's a way that you can incorporate being able to run your business on the side, but then do everything else that you have that goes out throughout your day. I would say, because I've done some other direct sales things, the thing that really got me excited about Usborne is that there's not really any commitment. You can work as little or as much as you want. You don't have to pay a monthly fee. You're not required to keep an inventory. You're not required to place an order every month, which I've done some other things where you do that. And it could really, if you don't start making money right away, it could actually create some financial stress for you having to place an order every month. And so just make sure that you know like what it is that you're getting into, and just make realistic goals for yourself and just stick with your goals. Like we talked about obstacles, there'll be ups and downs, but if you're passionate and excited about what you're promoting, you should be able to get through those obstacles and start to create success from home.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was perfect.
Okay, good.
So if people want to learn more about Usborne and more about you, can they go to do that?
I do have a website, and it's maryhadalittlebook.com. That's my Usborne website. And then I have Instagram accounts, Mary Had a Little Book.
I love that you chose that name, too.
Thank you. I had a list, and I had 5 that I liked, and that one was the one that was my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it just sticks out to you. You're just like, oh, that's so cute.
Thank you.
This was an awesome call. Thank you so much, Mary, for being on the podcast and spending a few moments of your time just chatting about your whole business. So thank you.
No, I appreciate you inviting me onto the call, and this is my first time ever doing something like this, so this was really exciting for me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mary, thank you so much for coming on the podcast episode. As I said earlier in the intro, it was super fun to talk with you. If you want to connect with me, learn more about me and all of the many different things that I do online, you can find my website at darlenevictoria.com. You can also find all of my podcasts at dvpodcasts.com. Connect with me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Darlene Victoria. And connect with me on Facebook. You can connect with me on Facebook at facebook.com/Darlene Victoria Work. Or search for I Heart Books with Darlene on Facebook to connect with me and learn a little bit more about my own Usborne independent consultant business. So everybody, that does it for the show this week. I want to thank you so much for continuing to tune in and listen to me chat with a whole bunch of inspiring and interesting entrepreneurs. I hope that these podcasts are inspiring you and motivating you in your own business. So until next time, remember, be inspired by the most important person in your life, you. Thanks for listening. This is Darlene Victoria, signing out.